The United Kingdom has a new Prime Minister. Rishi Sunak replaces outgoing Prime Minister Liz Truss less than a week after it was announced that she was resigning. We welcome into our studio international news editor Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, let's start off with Liz Truss. What were her last words before leaving 10 Downing Street?
Well, her last words was that she is committed to support the new Prime Minister, but she indicated that there's a lot that the Prime Minister will have to deal with, particularly issues related to the economy and also global challenges, the war in Ukraine in particular. Let's take a listen at what she had to say about these issues.
We simply cannot afford to be a low-growth country where the government takes up an increasing share of our national wealth, and where there are huge divides between different parts of our country. We need to take advantage of our Brexit freedoms to do things differently. This means delivering more freedom for our own citizens and restoring power to democratic institutions. It means lower taxes so people can keep more of the money that they earn. And it means delivering growth that will lead to more job security, higher wages, and greater opportunities for our children and grandchildren. Democracies must be able to deliver for their own people. We must be able to outcompete autocratic regimes where power lies in the hands of a few. And now more than ever, we must support Ukraine in their brave fight against Putin's aggression. Ukraine must prevail, and we must continue to strengthen our nation's defences.
So Rishi Sunak is now the man at the helm of the UK government at a very difficult time. Is he up to the task?
Well, clearly he's got experience. When you look at the economic issues as a former person who was part of Boris Johnson's cabinet, but also as a businessman and with all the qualifications that he has in terms of finances and the economy. And we know that he is the person who is very strict on issues that are related to the economy. And many people believe that he might be able to work with business and investors. We know that Liz Truss is out of the office today because of investors when the pound was affected and investors were not happy. And with the new men at the helm in terms of government of the UK, you can see that the markets are not making any moves, and they are kind of have accepted, or they have factored in his appointment. Let's take a listen at what he had to say after he was requested by King Charles III to form a government.
Some mistakes were made, not born of ill will or bad intentions. Quite the opposite, in fact, but mistakes nonetheless. And I have been elected as leader of my party and your Prime Minister, in part, to fix them. And that work begins immediately. I will place economic stability and confidence at the heart of this government's agenda. This will mean difficult decisions to come. But you saw me during COVID doing everything I could to protect people and businesses with schemes like furlough. There are always limits, more so now than ever. But I promise you this: I will bring that same compassion to the challenges we face today. The government I lead will not leave the next generation, your children and grandchildren, with a debt to settle that we were too weak to pay ourselves. I will unite our country, not with words, but with action. I will work day in and day out to deliver for you. This government will have integrity, professionalism, and accountability at every level. Trust is earned, and I will earn yours.
This was a historic day in the UK. Take us through the significance of what just took place.
Well, of course, history was documented today. You look at the age of the current Prime Minister. He is the youngest Prime Minister the country has ever had for the past 200 years at the age of 42. The second issue, it is the first time UK is today having a Prime Minister of colour. And also another perspective is that his parents are from Africa, the father from Kenya and the mother from Tanzania. But also what is significant is that I was thinking when I saw him driving to Buckingham Palace, what was on the mind of, in the mind of many citizens of UK, particularly the racist and the right wing, who have traumatized and harassed Meghan Markle, the wife of Prince Harry, when he was going to meet King Charles III as a person of color. And we know that there are talks, there are stories around the challenges Meghan Markle had in that house or that establishment of the monarch. Now, King Charles III, every week, he will have to meet the Prime Minister. It is history in a sense that he will be confronted for the first time with a Prime Minister of color, which speaks to, in the world is changing, it is evolving, and therefore the issue of race should be condemned at all costs because there are changes everywhere. Barack Obama was the first president of color in the United States of America. He did finish the 2 terms, and today he's still respected by many around the world, even though some are very critical of his administration and how he conducted himself, including on the continent. Therefore, the challenge is out there to see whether Sunak will be aware of this historic moment. We heard earlier on from President Ramaphosa's spokesperson that the president has congratulated him. And of course, we know that next month during the state visit in the United Kingdom, where Prince Charles III is expected to host the president will also make a turn at 10 Downing.
Sophie, thank you so much for that. That is international news editor Sophie Mokoena.